Hey everybody out there on the internet, it's me the Roller Geezer again, and today I'm going to do something I haven't done in a long time apparently. It's been several months. It's another director's commentary, and I figured I'd do this because weather hasn't been cooperating down here for me to skate, work on Mossback, so figured do this as a way of content that people like apparently. Um, So the last thing we watched was the mixtape sessions, which that was the summer where I didn't have too many opportunities to skate, so I had to hodgepodge something together. And it came out, I don't know, I had ideas. It was one of those, oh, this sounded brilliant in the shower, but not so much in execution. So that's why I don't like it so much. So today, we're going to go to the follow-up. This would be tape number. So this has been film number. Let me see. So the years, and then the two, 2001, 2002. So this would be tape number 5, I think. Arizona. Yeah, this would be number 5. This was filmed in the. This was all filmed in 2004. Primarily the summer of 2004, because I was still going to college. So this would have been my sophomore. This would have been my sophomore / junior year, and see how well this turns out. So hitting the play button now. Missed that tape sign from when you were converting things to mini DV. This was also the last. This was also the last. I almost forgot what the volume button was. It was in my mind. Oh yeah, my explanation of disclaimer that I thought was always cool. Yeah, this was the last video that I made for VHS tapes. The next one, which is Crossroads, was my first DVD venture. I used school equipment for that. I don't know if they were aware. Oh, one of the locals. That was I did not know it at the time, but that was, oh hey, it's Cody. It's a youngin. That was one of the locals. I grew up with his son. Pittsburgh local cheese, Chris Shields. Me when I thought pork chops looked okay. Oh yeah, this is in the throes of Deshi, when Deshi was still pretty good. And so, yeah, this is when cess slides were really becoming a thing, and the like, and you could see the development. And that is one thing about these videos that I do like to see, is the development of skaters. This sort of became this became an annual thing. Wow, I had Deshis with UFS throne parts. But it's always interesting to see progression of skaters throughout years, and when you do things like this, you can see it, and how things are evolving. Man, that school's no longer around, and that makes me sad. Oh yeah, this is when I was going through my transition. So, okay, this was the year that I was going through my transition of. I started out on Deshi, but Deshi had for me the worst problem of the back frame bolt breaking through the skate itself, and that's part of the reason why I think that brand never lasted. I mean, Powerslide bought the mold and eventually created the Carbon Freeze, but yeah, it was not going very well. Damn, Ryan, that's so nice. Because this was my transition from Deshi, and then I went to Remedies for a little bit, and I was okay with Remedies. I just didn't feel as comfortable. And then Shadow came out, and that was it. That was the last That was the last time I made a brand switch. Oh yeah, Vertigo Skate Park. Across the way from Slippery Rock where I was going. That was a cool thing because Bitter Cold Showdown was held there every year, and for me it was like 45 minutes to get there if I was driving sane. If I was like driving my typical way, it would only take me like half hour. But yeah, looking back at this, like some of the stuff of how everyone's skating, like you see the progression and like just how solid stuff is, and it's also interesting now because like those of us who knew Cody when he was like this young, like he's 12, 13 at this point, like we'd eventually grow into this very technical skater, but you could still see evidence of his creativity coming through, even then. I'm still amazed we even managed to skate that rail because it was just the worst in terms of how well it slid. Yeah, Colin Sander before he got into kendama and then became the legend that is. I will always say this about Ryan. He didn't have this insane trick vocabulary that Jordan did, but his tricks I always thought looked the best in the crew. I mean, it was like the stuff he has, which was still bigger than mine, just looks so smooth. Just minimal effort, just go up and do it and be done. He's like, yep, this is what I'm doing right now. That's the only time I've ever seen him do anything like that. Just one day we go to the Taco Bell rail in Pittsburgh and just boom, like, okay. God, this whole ordeal. And I knew it was going to happen too. Like I told him, I'm only filming from the truck because I knew exactly what was going to happen. We were going to be there and something was going to happen. And sure enough, some old man came in, it looked like his daughter was driving, and just started screaming at him, at Ryan. I love that trick with the wall. That's such good stuff. But yeah, he was like, nothing's going to happen. I said, you watch. We get near this, something stupid's going to happen. Because it was a church in the middle of nowhere. And sure enough, 10 minutes in, dude loses his mind. Came out screaming. Thought dude was going to die of a heart attack right in the middle of his argument. I did not understand that rail. I never hit the left side of that rail, but I never did understand it when the other guys would. It's like, why do you have a bar in between your two rails? It just looks sad. Why didn't you make it a complete set? You know, you could have easily done that, but they didn't. That was the old my hometown is now on its second Walmart, and that was the original, the back. Ryan and I went there one night and just skated, because a couple days later they tore it down. It was actually, and we found that spot, and it was actually pretty good. I did not expect it to be as good as it was. That spot is gone. That's in the Squirrel Hill Library. Man, it just bums me out. That's the other thing when you look back at this stuff. Not only do you see like our styles and our progression and stuff like that, but you also see these spots that are no longer around. Like, it's one thing. Oh, yep, Ryan using some of his creativity looks really nice. Oh, that trick is still some of the smoothest he's ever done. Oh yeah, that was shortly after we discovered that rail. And Ryan was getting a little bit more creative. Probably the nicest switch that's ever happened there. Nicest switch up. Oh yeah. Because I didn't even know Refner's last name at this point, so I just put his name as Cody. He was back. I mean, he was easy to skate with, but the thing is, like, I don't know. We just never got the information from. We took him with us. I'm still surprised this very day that his mother just let him go with us, because that's Pittsburgh. You know, just jump in a car with me and go to Pittsburgh. Okay. So you can start to see this transition with him when he was still skating with the junior division, as we called it, versus him starting to skate with us. Because, probably the only tricks ever done on those rails. Because, like I said, like when you see that one rail that we call the Reds, like that was a dividing line. That's what separated you from skating with the junior division. Once you started grinding that rail, this is still one of the craziest things I think he's ever done. There is so much room for error here. I mean, he can't. If he screws up one little bit, he's dead. And he nailed it. It was beautiful. Yeah, but he might have been the youngest to ever make the transition from junior division to us. Because he just, I think it was within a year. It was pretty wild. Like, he just figured it out. Now, his safety trick back then was Macchio, as you can tell. But he was getting pretty brave. I mean, he started busting out stuff that we just did not expect to see him do. And like him skating with us, his progression just went through the roof, even though, you know, he was the runt. Yeah, went down to rail file. I think the first time he'd ever been there, and nailed that. This was the first time I think he'd ever been to Malians. Nailed that. Like, he just... Well, I know what it was. His mother always described it to me. He had an obsessive personality, and so once he gets into something, that's it. And so his mother both likes me and kind of doesn't because of what I did to him. Got him into skating. So it's I don't know. But for a kid who's like 12 going on 13 at this point, this is impressive stuff. Like, barely a year into it, this is what he's doing. It still blew my mind. Oh yeah, the other Penn Hills rail. This became a thing. Because I did it first, as far as I know. I was the first to ever do it. And I got it in the mixtape video. And then all of a sudden it became a thing for the guys in Somerset. They all had to do this rail. So, yeah. The friends section. Yeah, that's right. Jordan didn't have enough to do a section this year. That was probably the first, I think. I think that's because he started getting he had a job. He definitely had his car, which is a whole thing in and of itself. But, yeah. Kid Zach. I remember him. Oh yes, the Verizon ledge. People would scream at him all the time. They were the kids that the younger part of the group started skating that thing. Oh yeah, this is right. At this point, Colin Sander was I think he was on K2. I believe as Flow, maybe even Am. It was at that time where I think K2's only pros were Shrine and Ron Copeland. And I think K2 was in a weird spot back then. Not that K2 has never been in a weird spot. Like, they had I don't know. Oh, that's right. Travis liked that rail. Even though it led to nothing but grass. Yeah, Colin's crew up in Pittsburgh was fun to skate with. Probably the last trick Mikey ever did. Oh, this was a guy I knew up at Slippery Rock, and Apparently, at some point in his life, he had skated, but he gave up on it. He was like one of those mid to late 90s skaters, and then he saw me and the stuff I was doing and was like, yeah, I wouldn't mind trying it. So I was like, okay. He nailed like a trick or two. He actually went out on a session with me, and we had fun. It was a night session, which... night sessions for me are hit and miss. Like, sometimes I'll have a lot of fun, other times I just don't. It's... I don't know. Like, a day session, yeah, I'm going to have fun no matter what. But night sessions for me can be just weird. Oh, yeah. The Maple Ridge 5. That was like their big thing. And the sad part about it was like one of the few down rails we had in town at the time. Now there's a few more, but there's no one left to skate, so sort of no point. Yeah, I don't know why I did that editing choice. Cody and Travis were at each other's throats a lot. Forgot about that. Oh yeah, good. See, that was the danger with Cody doing that Machio so much. He'd clip like that and that'd have been it. This is progressing kind of fast because I usually, when I do a bail section, bails are usually somewhere in the middle. I just felt that was like the better place to do it. Like, you know, you lead it. Like, my editing choices were simple. It would be like, I wanted a solid starter. And usually for me, that was Ryan. Ryan pretty much set the tone for everybody else. So I would have him... Oh, I still don't know what I was thinking with this trick. It just looks worse than it actually was. But like when I would set up my editing and choosing the sections, I always had to have an intro, you know, your intro and your conclusion, your credits. But like everything else, you know, I had a certain rhythm to it. So like again, first section has to be banger. Has to set up the rest of the video. See, Cody, your Machios are dangerous. Then in the middle, you put you gotta have a fall section if you got enough. Friends, yes, because there were a lot of guys that would skate with us that, you know, didn't skate enough. So we had to have them in there. And then however the sections would fill out. So, like, someone who was good, but, you know, but, like, maybe didn't have a whole lot to work with, so we put them somewhere in the middle. And usually someone I, you know, would feel was the strongest. Oh, that was another thing Travis had a problem with doing. He would do things to basically hurt himself more when he fell. What was I doing skating the bomb thrones? You keep those nice, stupid. That's normally how I would set everything up. To do it just that way. I mean, usually, like, the guy that I thought would have been, like, the best setup, like just the strong, or, like, I would have felt would have been the strongest skating, they go at the end. Like, Curtis was the one who ended my first film because his skating was so strong. So was it Social Displacement or no? Forsaken. Cheeseburger, Chris Shields. He ended it because his skating was, I mean, in comparison to us, just blew us out of the water. God. I still was no. This was. Yeah, it's Travis. Yeah, he ate it hard. One thing I always try to tell the guys, Do not do switch ups at just a dead stop. It will be so bad. Speed is a little bit better for you. Now this, I don't remember that guy. Oh wait, was that Ben? I can't remember, but I think he broke that dude's ankle. And I forgot what white balance was. Oh, Vertigo, I miss that skate park. Who's next? Oh, we're this far in. That was a piece, that was an art installation at Slippery Rock that I thought was always fun to skate. God, I miss the Reds. And I love this rail. It's still there from my understanding. In fact, I think Cody or Parker nailed something on that recently on Instagram. That is the Multibi rail. Probably one of my nicest tricks I ever nailed was on that rail. It was an in-spin porn star. Go figure, a porn star. I missed that rail. That was a fun rail. It's good stuff. That school is now a police station. Don't ask me what I was thinking with that. Just trying to be creative. Oh yeah, that was my Deshi setup where I had K2 soul plates at the bottom. Deshi had... That's one thing about Deshi that it still carries over. You could put I still don't know what the hell I was thinking with that. I mean, it kind of looks cool, but I don't know. Ryan gave me shit for it. The Slippery Rock balls. That... Wow, I had a little bit more style back then. Huh. But yeah, those Deshis, you could actually change them out with different sole plates. And so I used K2s. Before that I used the 3-piece UFS throne system. Oh yeah, my Jeremy Morris trick. Dropping a step and then doing it. Man, could you tell? Sometimes you can obviously tell when I'm not filming. Oh, and I was wearing those red shorts. I think I got those at Goodwill. What? This was the year I was wearing shorts. I used to never wear shorts. To this day, I don't wear shorts, but apparently I was wearing... Wow, I actually did my switch alley-oop sole. I must have been feeling it this year. This was so much fun. I was going so fast. I mean, you can just hear it. Like, we didn't wax it or anything. It just went. It was such good stuff. Man. Oh yeah, I could do a Machio down the North Rail. Oh, yeah, Cody had just done that too on Instagram. Rail file. Oh, that was back when I had Able frames. Look at me pulling a little bit of a disaster. It's so pretty. God, I love that rail. I'll never shut up about that rail. Oh yeah, that's when I broke my Deshis and I was back on my bomb thrones. And I had pink and black Able frames on there. If I could ever find those pink and black Able frames again, I want a pair. I don't care if they're big or small. Especially if they're in like close to brand new condition. I would never skate them. I would just have them. Because I think I thought they were the most exquisite frames. I loved them. I mean, they're not Kaiser suspension frames, but they're still nice. I mean, I still skate Kaiser suspension frames. I skate frames that are 10 years, that have been 10 years since they were made. The funny thing about these balls, Slippery Rock made these balls, and there's 4 of them. And it was supposed to be, it started off with a slab of rock, and then the ball would get, then it was a ball, and it was pretty chippy, and then the third ball was pretty chippy, and then the fourth ball was just smooth. The idea was Slippery Rock took you as a slab and it made you into this nice round ball, but the students reversed it, saying you come in, you know, fresh face and all that, and by the time you graduate, you're just a slab, which to me makes total sense. Something about Berlin always had somebody on a motorized scooter. Ah, my college friend Dan. I forget if they had a camera at this point or not. Because I think it was Travis. Travis somehow managed to get a camera that ran mini DV, and they started filming and giving me footage to make the edit, because they didn't have the editing stuff, but I did. Man. Thank you, Cody. That was sexy. Such a cute little boy, Cody. Oh, I was so mad. Yeah, because this looks like it's going to end well. Oh, good stuff all around. Oh, that's right. I made a remix extra thing. I forgot about that. Jesus, so baggy. Wow, I am a very sweaty man. Oh, hey, I was wearing Harley back then. Oh, that wax. Ryan had this wax. Just this big old ball of wax. It was like the weirdest thing. No explanation for it. And here's where Travis and Sean got yelled at for skating that by some old person. Like, they didn't own the building. What did they care? I never understood that. I never did understand that. I mean, like, nowadays, most people just approach me like, hey, that's cool. But like 15 years ago, people used to get on us and bust us and try to get us out of the place. I never understood that. Especially if it's not your property. That was the weird part. It's like you yell at us, and now I think I've shared this before, but Ryan and I went skating here, I think it was last year, something like that. And we were out skating a street spot. Nothing big, just a ledge. And this old man came up, and I thought, okay, this is it. He's going to yell, and it's like, all right, yeah, whatever, old man. But he was complimenting us because he's like, I think it's great that young kids are going out skating. And I look like this. And I'm like, thank you. Like, I just did not expect that in any way, shape, or form. Because I think that's sort of the shift that we're at now. Like, especially my hometown, kids just don't go out. At all. Like, I like I don't know if I don't think we yeah there were a couple spots here in this video. If it comes up again in this little edit, I'll point it out. But um the the editing or the local playground, like nobody went there at all, and still to this day I don't think anybody does. I mean, they have a summer program for little kids, but like nobody goes. I was like, it's a little depressing. Oh, that's right. This is Shin tried on skates again because he had quit because Jordan kept on giving him grief for being a ledge enthusiast. Like, pros don't hit ledges. I'm like, yeah, they do. It was all about rails for Jordan. Nothing wrong with rails, but you gotta have a little bit with the with the ledges. Good top side on a ledge always looks good. I don't care who you are. Wow. Huh. So yeah, that was Fade. Still a good one. Definitely not the worst. You can see some progression. You even got the full introduction, formal introduction of Cody back when he was growing up in our little podunk town. Now he does all this stuff on Instagram and skates with Basement, which I find funny. It's like, wow, we've gotten this. Okay, cool. But yeah, you'll see it the next time I do one of these. Like Cody's jump from this to what he did in Crossroads. It's like, holy cow! It is just, in its 1 year's time, just this jump. Like you can see it here starting, but it'll become obvious in the next one. So, yeah, that was fun looking at video number 5, Fade, and we'll do this again sometime. But I am running out of videos because I think I've only got 2 more. Yeah, Crossroads and Untitled. So I'll have to think of something else after that. I don't know what, but I will. So until next time, kids, toodles.